My beloved child, please stay with me a little longer. Do not let the rush of the world pull you away from this sacred pause, for I am speaking to you now with an intimacy born of eternal love, not out of a desire to see you afraid. The shadow that follows you hopes you will depart before these words take root, because he understands the profound transformation that occurs when a soul truly listens. He knows that truth is the hammer that breaks every chain, that my light is the flame that exposes every hidden snare, and that one single moment spent in my presence can dissolve decades of confusion. Give me your heart for just a while longer, because your spirit is standing at a vital threshold right now. You may be tempted to think this is merely another message, another passing sound in a noisy world, but I am asking you to listen with the ears of your soul. This encounter was woven into the fabric of time before you ever drew breath. I have seen the mounting pressure that surrounds your days, the quiet, heavy exhaustion that settles into your bones, and the thoughts you tuck away in the corners of your mind because they feel too massive to confront. I am aware of how effortless it would be to turn away, to delay this conversation, to say you will listen when life is less frantic. But you and I both know that later has often been the thief of your peace. Stay here with me in the stillness. There are ancient paths opening before you, and others that are finally closing, and the choice you make is not found in a loud explosion, but in the quiet surrender of a moment like this. I am not here to point a finger of accusation or to fill your mind with dread. I am here because I cherish you too deeply to watch you walk blindly into the fog. You have been whispering prayers for clarity, even when you couldn't find the vocabulary for them. You have been yearning for a reprieve, for a sense of direction, for something, anything to finally make sense. This is precisely why you must remain. 1 hour of resting in my truth can shield you from a lifetime of bitterness. 1 hour can realign the very foundations of your heart that have been drifting in the tide. I am not demanding your perfection. I am simply inviting your attention. Rest here, my child, because the words I am breathing into you are designed to center your heart and illuminate your footsteps. Do not hurry past the very hand I am reaching out to hold you with. Listen intently, my chosen one. I am calling you not with the force of a storm, but with a voice that understands every one of your frailties and still calls you precious. If you turn back now, you may never perceive the trap that was slowly narrowing around your life. The most treacherous snares are never the ones that look like a pit of fire. They are the ones that feel familiar, comfortable, and safe. I see the subtle patterns forming in your daily walk, the small compromises that feel insignificant, the tiny distractions that seem like harmless rest, but are slowly siphoning the life from your spirit. Stay in my light, because what I am unfolding is meant to rescue you, not just from external pain, but from losing the person I created you to be. I know that you are weary. I know a part of you simply wants to stop the labor of thinking, of deciding, and of resisting the world. But understand this: true rest does not come from escaping reality. It comes from embracing the truth. I am not here to burden you further. I am here to uncover what has been hidden in the shadows, so it can no longer wound you in the dark. The adversary does not need to push you toward destruction if he can simply wait for you to stop looking at me. That is why this stillness is vital. I am granting you a clear lens before the confusion of the world settles any deeper into your mind. I am offering a lantern before the path grows even more obscure. You are not required to wage this war alone. and you do not need to solve the puzzles of your life this very night. All I am asking is for your presence. Listen with the rhythm of your heart. Permit my words to reach the tender places you usually protect. What I reveal will not break you, it will set you free. Remain here in my embrace, because walking away now would be like turning your back on the very lighthouse you have been searching for in the storm. My child, hear me with both gravity and great hope. So many will ignore this whisper and stumble into the darkness without ever knowing why. It is not because they are flawed beyond repair, but because they believe the lie that this communion is optional. They believe they have endless time, that warnings are meant for someone else, and that clarity will arrive on its own someday. But you are still here, and that is a divine appointment. Something deep within you recognized that this mattered, even if your mind cannot yet explain the reason. Do not retreat. Your internal life depends on hearing this to completion, not because I am a god of threats, but because the direction you choose tonight determines the destination of your tomorrow. I see how close you have walked to certain precipices. I see the times you told yourself you were fine while your spirit was trembling with unrest. I see the silent battles in the mirror, the questions you were too afraid to voice, and the pull in your heart that you tried to drown out with noise. I am speaking now to break that cycle. You are not weak for needing my guidance. You are profoundly wise for staying to receive it. Most will choose the comfort of a lie over the surgery of the truth, but you are still listening. That tells me your spirit is awake and hungry. Do not let the demon of impatience steal the awareness I am trying to give you. Stay until the final echo, because every word I speak is a stone in the bridge I am building for you. Leaving now would be like stopping in the middle of a bridge over a great chasm. I am leading you to a place of safety, but you must continue to walk with me. This is not about fear, it is about the fullness of life. Stay, because what you are about to perceive will explain the mysteries of your heart that you have felt but could never name. I am speaking, and the darkness is terrified that you are finally paying attention. That is not a metaphor, it is a spiritual reality. Darkness thrives in the unsaid, the confused, and the half-truth. The second you truly listen, the grip of the enemy begins to fail. Give me this hour, because what you hear next will expose the secret plots that have been working against your joy. I know you may be guarded, or perhaps skeptical, having been disappointed by the world so many times. I understand the scars on your heart, but hear me. Exposure in my light is never meant to shame you. It is always meant to protect you. There are influences in your life that do not look like villains. There are voices that sound like common sense, feelings that feel completely justified, and paths that look like they lead to peace but end in a desert. I am about to pull back the veil, not to overwhelm your soul, but to equip your spirit. You have felt a strange tension lately for a reason. You have sensed that something was out of alignment, but you couldn't find the source. That feeling is not anxiety, it is your spiritual discernment awakening from its slumber. Stay with me, for once you see through my eyes, you can never be easily deceived by a lie again. The enemy fears your clarity more than he fears your strength. He fears your truth more than your effort. You do not need to fight harder. You simply need to see more clearly. That is the gift I am placing in your hands right now. Do not dismiss this as a mere coincidence or a random message. I am meeting you exactly where you are so that I can lead you to where you were destined to be. My beloved, do not treat this hour as ordinary. There is nothing accidental about the fact that you are still here.
You didn't pause because of a habit. I have drawn you here because this moment carries a weight that the physical world cannot measure. There are seasons when heaven leans down to touch the earth, and this is one of those times. What feels like a simple pause in your evening is actually a spiritual intersection. Decisions are being formed in the unseen, and your attention will shape what follows. I am not frantic, but I am firm. I am asking you to remain. There are forces active around you, not to harm you, but to witness your significance. The thief does not break into an empty house. He only targets what contains great value. You have wondered why distraction follows you so relentlessly, why your mind wanders just as you begin to seek my face. That is not a failure of your character. It is a testimony to your purpose. Distraction is not a harmless habit. It is a weapon. It whispers instead of shouting. It nudges you away from the depth of my presence toward the shallows of the world. The enemy's desire is not to destroy you with a blow, but to isolate you with silence. He wants you to hear just enough to feel okay, but not enough to be transformed. He wants you to start the journey, but never find the destination. That is why I am calling you to listen with your whole being. I want you to feel how close my breath is to your cheek in this moment. You are not exposed or unguarded. My presence is a fortress around you, even as I speak these warnings. I do not speak with urgency to cause panic. I speak to offer you a shield. A father raises his voice when his child is near a cliff, not out of anger, but out of a fierce protectiveness. I see the whole map of your life, not just the square you are standing on, and I know where your current silence would lead you. That is why I am interrupting your routine. That is why I am asking you to stop the multitasking and the half-listening. What I am speaking is not background noise. It is the compass for your soul. You may feel a stir in your spirit as you listen, a sense that this is more vital than you first imagined. That is your spirit recognizing the voice of your Creator. I formed you to respond to the truth. I created an inner awareness in you that vibrates when eternity touches time. That stirring is not stress, it is alignment. It is your soul recognizing that a deep wound is finally being addressed. Do not push that feeling away. Do not call it discomfort and scroll to something easier. Lean into the fire, because clarity is often born in the heat before the comfort arrives. I chose you for this moment, not because you are without flaw, but because you are willing to stay. Willingness is a rare jewel in my eyes. So many are loud and busy, but so few are quiet enough to be reached. You are still here, and that tells me your heart is soft enough to receive the seed. Even if you are wounded or confused, I am not a stranger to you. I know every chapter of your history. I remember the nights you almost surrendered to the dark. I know the questions you asked me that felt like they were lost in the wind. I was there in the silence, and I am here in this word. This hour is part of the answer you have been waiting for. Understand this, my child. The enemy does not fear your religious activity. He fears your spiritual awareness. You can be busy for me and still be bound by him. But when you truly listen, when you become conscious of the forces shaping your mind, his power begins to evaporate. That is why he works so hard to keep your life crowded and your heart numbed. A distracted heart never notices the trap.
A hurried mind misses the shepherd's staff. I am calling you out of that frantic pattern now with a heart of compassion. There are shifts happening around you that you cannot see, and that is not a failure on your part. It is simply the nature of walking by faith. But I do not want you to walk in a daze. Silence toward my voice makes you vulnerable, but listening creates a covering of protection. Every word you take in right now is a brick in the wall of your discernment. I am preparing you for what is coming, not just for what is here. This is why this moment is sacred. This is why I ask you to stay, to resist the impulse to move on, to remain until I have finished pouring this into you. You are a chosen vessel, and when purpose is close, resistance always increases. That is not a signal to fear. It is a signal to listen more closely to the one who sees the end from the beginning. I am not asking you to wage a war of effort. I am asking you to hear. Hearing always precedes wisdom, and wisdom is the mother of peace. That peace will carry you where your own striving never could. I am shielding you even in this dialogue. You are being guarded by the truth I am speaking and covered by the love I am showing. Nothing can pull you from my palm while your ears are open to my heart. Half-received truth leaves a door open for doubt, but a fully received truth brings an unshakable stability. I want you to be grounded like an oak tree that doesn't shiver at every breeze of opinion. Do not underestimate the power of this 1 hour of true listening. Entire legacies have been rewritten because one person stayed when it was easier to leave. Entire futures have been shifted because a heart chose to be aware instead of being busy. You are not too late to the table. You haven't missed your window of grace. You are here now, and now is precisely where I am. This is the hour I have appointed to speak to you clearly, and I will continue to do so as long as you remain. Stay with me, child. Let the noise of the world grow faint. Let this urgency sharpen your focus rather than your anxiety. You are safe here. You are seen here. You are being led home. This moment is not random. It is essential. And as you stay, you are already walking into the protection and the purpose I have laid out specifically for you. My beloved, I want you to understand how the enemy works so that his shadows no longer haunt you. He never starts with a landslide. He starts with a single loose pebble. He doesn't rush you into a pit. He gently persuades you to delay your journey. He whispers reasonable thoughts that sound like your own logic. He doesn't always tempt you with a great evil. He tempts you with a comfortable distraction. That is why he wants you to skip this moment. He knows that later is the graveyard of good intentions. He knows that tiredness is the fog where your discernment goes to sleep. I see the moments when you feel the pull to scroll just a little longer, to fill your mind with static just to avoid the weight of the silence. I see when your spirit feels heavy and you tell yourself you will seek me when you have more energy. But hear me with tenderness. Exhaustion is his greatest ally. Not because resting is wrong, but because being worn out makes a compromise feel like a necessity. When you are drained, you are more likely to silence the nudge of my spirit. The enemy doesn't need to defeat you if he can simply wear you down until you stop caring. He also works through the subtle doubt that questions if this is really for you. These thoughts feel like wisdom, but they are just strings trying to pull you away from the grace that is being offered right now. Doubt delays your response, and delayed response is just a quiet way of saying no. I am not saying this to point out your failures. I am saying it because I love you too much to see you distracted any longer. Understand that traps rarely look like traps. They look like relief. They look like a break from the pressure. A warning ignored today makes it easier to ignore the one tomorrow. A slow turning away from the light is how most people find themselves in the dark. That is why I am calling you to stay. Listening fully builds the muscle of your spirit to recognize his voice later on. I have watched so many stumble because they underestimated the small things. They thought they could handle a little distance, and then the distance became their new home. I do not want that for you. You are wise for receiving this. Staying here right now is a magnificent act of spiritual war. You are resisting the urge to numb your heart. You are resisting the habit of giving me only half of your attention. Every minute you choose to be present, you reclaim the territory of your mind. The enemy loses his grip not when you are perfect, but when you are paying attention.
I want you to know that I am patient and I am here. He waits for when you are low, but I am already there in the valley waiting to lift you up. My voice doesn't fight for your attention. It simply invites you into a better way. Do not be ashamed of how often you have felt the pull of the world. I know your humanity. I know how loud the noise is. I am not disappointed. I am protective. I am lifting the curtain so you can finally see the truth. Awareness is the first step of your freedom. He wants you to skip because skipping keeps your old patterns alive. He doesn't need you to hate me. He just needs you to postpone me. Stay because I am intentional with every word I give you. You have already taken a massive step towards freedom just by listening this far. You are not failing. You are learning to walk in the light. I am not asking for an overhaul of your whole life in 1 second. I am asking you to notice, to stay, and to recognize that your presence here matters deeply to me. I am walking with you. I am not watching from a distance. I am right here, strengthening you in the quiet. You don't need to fear the dark when you are aware of how to turn on the light. So remain here, my child. Let this truth settle into your soul. You are not in danger. You are being fortified. Every moment you stay attentive, you grow roots that no storm can tear up. You are doing well. You are choosing the better part, and I am so pleased with your heart. Continue with me, for I am leading you home, one clear moment at a time.
My beloved child, inhale the stillness of this hour and let the weight of the world drop from your shoulders like a discarded cloak. We have stepped beyond the rush of minutes and hours. We are standing together in the sanctuary of the eternal now. Do not be startled by the depth of this silence. In the world, silence is often feared because it feels like emptiness. But in my presence, silence is fullness. It is the canvas upon which I paint the new colors of your spirit. You have spent so much of your journey trying to prove your worth through your labor, through your achievements, and through your tireless efforts to be enough. I am here to tell you that before you ever did a single thing, before you ever succeeded or failed, you were already the object of my infinite affection. Rest in the truth that your value is intrinsic. It is woven into the very atoms of your being. You do not have to perform for me. You do not have to hide your wounds to earn my gaze. I love the broken version of you just as much as the whole version, because I am the one who specializes in the beauty of the repair. Consider the divine weaver. Look back at the tapestry of your life, the dark threads that seemed so out of place at the time, the losses that felt like holes in the fabric, the betrayals that looked like tangled knots. From your perspective, it looked like a mess, but from my perspective, I was using those dark threads to create contrast. I was using the knots to strengthen the weave. Nothing has been wasted. No tear has fallen without me catching it in my bottle. I am making all things work together for a beauty you cannot yet conceive. I want to speak to the restlessness that keeps you awake at night, that feeling that you are missing something or that you are falling behind. This is a lie planted by the world to keep you in a state of frantic hunger. You cannot be behind in a story that I am writing. You are exactly where you need to be to learn the lessons of this season. The desert was not a punishment for the Israelites. It was a preparation for the promised land. The tomb was not the end for my son. It was the birthplace of the resurrection. If you feel like you are in a desert or a tomb right now, rejoice, for it means the promised land and the resurrection are closer than you think. Open the gates of your heart to trust. Trust is not the absence of questions. It is the decision to stay close to me even when the answers are hidden. It is the small child holding his father's hand in a dark room. The child doesn't need to see the light, he only needs to feel the warmth of the hand. I am holding your hand. I will not let go. Even if you try to pull away, I am the shadow that never leaves. I am the heartbeat that keeps you anchored. Let us talk about your enemies, the people and the thoughts that have tried to diminish you. I want you to release the sword. You have been fighting battles that were never yours to win. Your vindication does not come from your arguments or your defense. It comes from my truth. When you stop defending yourself, I become your defender. When you stop seeking revenge, I become your justice. Leave the hearts of others to me. I am the only one who can see the hidden pain that caused them to hurt you. Pray for them, not because they are right, but because they are bound. Your freedom is found in the sacred no. Say no to the guilt that isn't yours. Say no to the shame that I have already washed away. Say no to the people who demand you be someone other than who I created you to be. I have set a boundary around your soul. It is a garden that only I have the key to. Invite me in, and together we will pull up the weeds of bitterness and plant the seeds of joy. I am restoring your wonder. Do you remember how you looked at the world when you were a child? Everything was a miracle. The rain was a song. The dirt was a mystery. The sky was a promise. Somewhere along the way, the world made you cynical. It taught you to be realistic and practical. I am calling you back to the eyes of a child. I want you to find the miracle in the mundane, the grace in the morning coffee, the mercy in the sunset, the love in a stranger's smile. To live in wonder is to live in my presence. As the hours of this communion stretch on, feel your spirit expanding. You are not a small, isolated creature. You are a part of a vast, eternal family. You are connected to the stars and the seas and every soul that has ever cried out for grace. You are a light bearer. Even if you feel like a flickering candle in a hurricane, remember this: 1,000,000 miles of darkness cannot put out the light of one small flame. And you are not alone. I am the oil in your lamp. I am the fire on your wick. I am preparing you for a new beginning. The old things are passing away. The old ways of thinking, the old fears, the old habits. Do not cling to the ruins of your past. Let them crumble. I am building something more glorious on the site of your greatest collapse. Soon you will walk out of this stillness into a world that looks the same, but you will be different. You will walk with a quiet confidence. You will speak with a gentle authority. You will love with an open heart. And when the noise tries to rush back in, you will have an inner sanctuary that no one can disturb. You will have the rhythm of our conversation playing in the background of your mind. You are my beloved child. In you I am well pleased, not because of what you have done, but because of whose you are. Rest now. Let the silence carry you. Let the peace anchor you. I am here. I am here. I am always here. Be still. Be still. Be still, and know that I am God. My beloved child, let the breath of life fill your lungs and settle your spirit once more. We are diving deeper now, beyond the surface of your worries, into the very core of your existence, where my spirit and your spirit become one. Do not be troubled by the length of this journey or the time we spend in this sacred space. Time is a river I created, but here we are standing on the shore of eternity. You have lived so much of your life in a state of hurry, chasing after moments that vanish like mist. But here, in my presence, there is no clock. There is only now. There is only us. I want to talk to you about the grace of the middle. Everyone celebrates the beginning and everyone cheers at the end, but I am the God who walks with you in the long, exhausting middle. In the miles where the excitement has worn off and the finish line is not yet in sight. In the seasons where you feel forgotten, I am doing my most profound work. Think of the mountain climber. The most important strength is not developed at the peak, but in the thin air of the ascent, where every step requires a conscious decision to keep going. I am strengthening your spiritual lungs right now. I am teaching you how to breathe in my peace when the atmosphere of the world feels suffocating. Rest in the knowledge that I am your intercessor. Even when you do not have the words to pray, when you are too weary to lift your voice, my spirit is groaning on your behalf. Your silence is not a barrier to me, it is an invitation. I can read the language of your tears. I can hear the unspoken ache in your chest. I am tending to the things you haven't even named yet. Let us address the ghosts of comparison. You look at others and see their highlights, then you look at yourself and see your behind the scenes. You think you are failing because your path doesn't look like theirs. But I did not create a forest of identical trees. I created a symphony of different sounds. Your pace is not a mistake. Your unique rhythm of growth is exactly what I designed. Some flowers bloom in the spring, and others need the frost of winter to find their strength. Do not judge your winter by someone else's spring. I am the gardener, and I know exactly when you are ready to unfold. I am healing the wounds of abandonment. Many have walked out of your life, leaving you to wonder if you are hard to keep. They promised to stay, and they vanished when the road got rough. I want you to look at my hands. I have engraved your name upon my palms. I am the one who remains when everyone else has retreated. I am the friend who sticks closer than a brother. My loyalty to you is not based on your performance. It is based on my character, and my character is unchanging. I am the North Star of your soul. Even when you lose your way, I am exactly where I have always been, waiting to guide you home. I am teaching you the power of the small. The world prizes the massive, the loud, and the spectacular, but I often work in the mustard seed, in the 5 loaves and 2 fish, in the single yes you say to me when you'd rather say no. Do not despise these small beginnings. A single spark can start a fire that warms a city. A single act of trust in the dark is more beautiful to me than 1,000 songs in the light. Receive my shield of discernment. As you move forward, I am sharpening your ability to sense what is of me and what is of the world. You will begin to notice a heaviness around things that are not for you, and a lightness around the path I have paved. Trust that inner nudge. It is my spirit whispering, "This is the way. Walk in it." I am pouring out fresh oil upon your head. The old oil was for the old battles, but I am preparing you for a new season of influence. I am renewing your vision. I am restoring your joy. I am giving you a second wind for the race that is still before you. Look toward the horizon of your life with holy expectancy, not with dread for what might go wrong, but with wonder for what I will make right. I am a God of surprises. I love to turn the tables on the enemy. I love to bring water from the rock and manna from the sky. You are my precious, beloved child, the apple of my eye, the joy of my heart. There is nothing you could do to make me love you more, and nothing you have done that could make me love you less. Now, let the silence wrap around you like a warm blanket. Feel the safety of my embrace. Feel the steady rhythm of my love. You are safe. You are seen. You are deeply, eternally loved. My beloved child, stay nestled in this quietude. Do not rush to leave this secret place, for the world outside is loud. But here, in the shadow of my wings, there is a melody that only your spirit can hear. We are weaving a cord of peace that will not easily break when the winds of life begin to howl again. I want you to understand the power of the hidden season. You often feel that if you are not seen, you are not growing. If you are not producing, you are not valuable. But look at the mighty oak tree. Before it ever stretched its branches toward the sun, it spent years pushing its roots deep into the dark, silent earth. It was the hidden work that gave it the strength to stand against the gale. You are in a season of rooting. I am strengthening the unseen parts of your soul. I am fortifying your character in the quiet. I am teaching you how to draw nourishment from my spirit rather than the applause of men. Do not despise the days of small things, and do not fear the times of being hidden. I am your ever-present architect. You see the debris of your life, the broken plans, the abandoned dreams, and you see a ruin. I see a foundation. I am clearing away the structures that were built on sand so that I can build something that will endure for eternity. Trust my demolition as much as you trust my construction. I know what must fall so that you can truly rise. Let us heal the anxiety of tomorrow. You are carrying the weight of next year when I am only asking you to walk through the next hour. You are trying to solve problems that haven't even arrived yet. I am the God of the manna. I do not give you a month's supply. I give you what you need for today. When tomorrow comes, my grace will be there waiting for you, fresh and new as the morning dew. I want you to release the burden of being right. You have exhausted yourself trying to prove your worth, trying to win every argument, trying to make sure everyone understands your heart. Stop, my child. I am your vindicator. If I am for you, it does not matter who is against you. If I approve of you, the disapproval of the world is a feather in the wind. Rest in my judgment, for it is filled with mercy. I am restoring your spiritual senses. You have been numbed by the constant stream of information and the frantic pace of the digital world. I am teaching you how to hear my whisper amidst the roar. I am training your eyes to see the miracles in the mundane, the grace in a shared meal, the glory in a blooming flower, the holiness in a moment of rest. I am addressing the father wounds and the mother wounds that have made you feel you must earn love. Many of you have been loved only for what you could provide or what you could achieve, but I love you simply because you are mine. My love is not a reward for your behavior. It is the foundation of your existence. You can stop running now. You have already arrived at the heart of the Father. I am giving you new strength for the long haul. This is not a sprint. It is a journey of endurance. When you feel you can no longer walk, I will carry you. When you feel your heart growing cold, I will be the fire that warms you. I am renewing your passion. I am rekindling the dreams that the world tried to extinguish. Do not fear the silence of God. Sometimes I am quiet because we are so close that words are no longer necessary. Just as two old friends can sit in a room for hours without speaking, yet feel completely understood, so it is with us. My silence is a sign of intimacy, not distance. I am resting with you. Receive my cloak of humility. It is the most comfortable garment you will ever wear. It releases you from the need to be great, the need to be first, the need to be known. In humility, you find true authority. In being small, you find how big I truly am. I am hovering over your life like a mother bird over her nest. You are protected. You are cherished. You are valued beyond all earthly treasures. I would have created the entire universe just to have this one moment with you. Now, let the remaining minutes of this hour be a time of deep saturation. Let my peace soak into your mind, clearing away the fog. Let my love soak into your heart, mending the tears. Let my strength soak into your body, easing the tension. You are my beloved, my chosen, my heir. Go forth with your head held high, not in pride, but in the dignity of being a child of the King. Be still, be still, be still, and know that I